legacy has passed. The Helghast do not reason. They started this war when they invaded Vector, and it's up to us to conclude it.
Since its announcement, Killzone 2 has been touted as the proving point for both the necessity of the PlayStation 3's powerful cell processor and spacious Blu-ray discs. As the first game seemingly impossible on any other platform, it was subjected to numerous delays and its fair share of negativity, most of which spurred by its predecessor's inability to live up to its hype, a fact which fanboys eagerly attached themselves to.
Never again will we bow before them. Never again endure their oppression.
Does Killzone 2 end up being the PlayStation 3's definitive title, or another example of a missed opportunity and an unfulfilled promise?
And without mercy, fighting as one hand, one heart, one soul, we will shatter their dreams. They will know Helghan belongs to the Helghast.
This is fucked up! Hang on! 200 meters! We're dropping shore! Crap!
Picking up 2 years after the events of the original, Killzone 2 brings the fight to the Helghast homeworld of Helghan in an attempt to end the war by capturing their leader, Emperor Scholar Visari. Much of the game's story brings Sergeant Sev's Alpha Squad through city streets and buildings, working their way towards the capital and pitting them against hordes of Helghast enemies. The mission objective of eliminate hostiles will flash up in the corner at a nearly constant rate, and there's very little in terms of variation or narrative. Occasional new surroundings add a bit of spice, but the game's plot is just barely present and lacks any real grip.
We needed to help track down the source of those defenses.
I don't know. Feels like dead weight to me.
You secure this shit, man.
Supporting characters are voiced adequately, but the game's writing isn't high enough caliber to make any of them even remotely memorable. They'll wander on screen, deliver a few uninspired vulgar lines of dialogue, and shamble off without a drop of genuine personality. They aren't all that likable or interesting, and even the more emotional segments fall flat because of a severe lack of characterization.
I guess your mom got drunk with the guys one night.
You are next.
They do, however, spend most of their time running in front of bullets and nabbing ideal cover locations, further adding mystery to the game's lack of cooperative play. Killzone 2 is about as typical of a shooter as has been released this generation. It's mostly locked in first person, with cover and flanking having important roles, and a number of standard guns being tossed around the battlefield. Later weapons pack a bit more kick than the earlier ones, but most of the time spent with anything besides the standard machine gun is spent looking for one on the field. 6-axis motion controls are added sparingly, and exemplifies both what's ideal and awful about them. Occasionally being forced to twist the controller around to open doors is about as unnatural as it sounds, while needing to keep a cool hand during sniping shows what the motion controls should be used for. All in all, there's very little innovation in terms of gameplay, and nothing feels particularly good or bad. The controller layout is a little strange and takes some time getting used to, and the first-person cover mechanics don't always work, but there's not really much to complain about or, on the other hand, rave about. It's all very standard, and it wouldn't stand out as much if not for the game's visuals.
Sir!
Yeah.
No time to zone out.
Guerrilla Games had a mountain to climb in order to impress gamers after the tech demo shown at E3 2005. Thankfully, they've surpassed expectations and delivered the best-looking game across any platform. Even when held up against its toughest competition on the PC, every aspect of Killzone 2's visuals come out on top, all the while maintaining a constant frame rate and suffering from very few graphical errors. Character models, particle effects, and environments look photorealistic. The engine even holds up fantastically during online battles featuring up to 32 players without even the slightest hiccup, showing the true power of the PlayStation 3 and setting a new bar for graphical presentation. As expected, the game's audio is also top-notch, with an impressive score and wonderful sound effects across the board. Occasional audio glitches involving player proximity might become annoying at times,
We sent in a recon team to set up the comms link.
but it never undermines the otherwise wonderful auditory experience. stale single-player experience and less than perfect gameplay all bow down to Killzone 2's multiplayer, which is some of the finest of its generation. Instead of choosing a game of deathmatch, capture point, or any of the other game modes, they all blend into one, and will cycle as the game progresses, awarding points to the first successful team. There's a leveling system that awards new weapons, classes, and other unlockables for points gained during play, and the 32-player multiplayer definitely does its job in creating gigantic battles in the massive multiplayer arenas. It's extremely fulfilling, and the flaws in the gameplay aren't as prominent when all of the enemies are dealing with them as well. Killzone 2 isn't the best shooter ever made, but it's done an admirable job at giving Sony the killer title they needed to prove the PlayStation 3's worth. Without the Blu-ray disc, the textures couldn't be as high resolution. Without the cell processor, the game couldn't support as many light sources as it does at once. And without the PlayStation 3, you can't get the Killzone experience without spending a few $1,000s on a PC gaming rig. If their goal was to prove that point to gamers, then they've done a great job, and given PlayStation 3 owners one hell of a title in the process. The single player definitely hurts without cooperative play, but the multiplayer and overall stunning presentation should earn Killzone 2 a spot on any gamer's shelf. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the full text review on Gamervision.com.